What up, y'all? Welcome back to the pod, episode 2. We got 3 guests here today. Steve Waszkiewicz,
Valentin.
Joe Coffey.
Fitz.
Waszkiewicz.
Nice to come back on for episode 2. Thanks for watching episode 1. Now we're bringing 3 current high school players. We got a junior, senior. Junior. We got 2 juniors and a senior. They've been through this program. Just tell us when you guys started. When did you start?
So I started the end of, just about the end of fall 13U, but I didn't play. So basically I came in, so started 14U, that was my first season.
Okay.
I joined Rake City going into my 8th grade year, so 14U fall was me.
I've been here since right after 12, right after I was 12, so 13. 13 was my first season.
So we'll go here over. How'd you guys hear about this program?
So my parents have sort of a friendship with the Barrel family, and Parker Barrel's been here way longer than I have. So basically I was coming off of a horrible rec league ball at Westmont, and I kind of figured it out. At that age I was like, all right, I want to challenge myself pretty well, and I actually want to develop myself into baseball more than just a hobby. So I came just through that, and then just a lot of research on other teams. There were definitely a lot of good options, but I kind of ruled out what I thought I would fit in the best in. There were definitely other teams that I considered, but I really liked the feeling that I was given here, and I felt like I fit in pretty well.
Yeah, so I heard about the program through Ryan Crowley. I had an older cousin who played against Rake. I'd seen some Rake teams at tournaments, but I pitched with Crowley when I was a 13-year-old, liked the program, liked the feel, and joined the next summer.
Yeah, for me, a bunch of my close buddies, close friends played here. They liked it, they recommended it, and at the time I was just kind of over the daddy baseball kind of part of youth travel baseball, just over with that, and this was a perfect fit.
Yeah, you've been a lifer here, huh?
Yeah, it's been.
I remember
a long time.
The old facility. You were 4'4", like 50 pounds soaking wet, and you were up in there. Right? Starting to realize, hey, bud, yo, guess what? You got some meat, got some pounds this off season. All of us. Maybe not you. You're kind of on the shelf for a little bit, but you're getting back right. So, you guys started here, daddy baseball transition. You guys want to take baseball more seriously, or on the ends of trying to get away from the rec ball? Were you guys coming in here to leap forward into maybe a future in baseball, or just to get away from the daddy rec ball?
So for me, it was a little bit of both, especially because at Westmont I was very it was almost like everyone was so bad that it didn't feel like I was really being challenged in a way. So I felt like I wanted to, because of the other people that I had talked to, it was I wanted to come here so I can get what I need to get done, and I had it pretty set in stone by the end of my 12U year that I was okay, I want to take this further than something that I like to do in my meantime or just for high school. So I at that age I was pretty much solidified in the position that I want to take this somewhere beyond just recent or future years of fun.
Gotcha.
Yeah, honestly, being a 14-year-old joining this program, I had no idea where I wanted to go with college or if I wanted to play, what position I even wanted to play. But I knew at that age I just wanted to get away from the program that I was at, come here, get a fresh start, and I'm really glad I did.
For me, being 12, 13, coming over here, I just knew I wanted to take baseball more seriously. I didn't know what the future would hold for me or anything like that, being that young, but I knew this would be a place where I could take it seriously and focus on it and see what it would end up giving me, and say it worked out pretty well.
Yeah, I would say so too.
growing up, did you guys play any other sports, or when did you kind of decide baseball was Like, hey, I'm just kind of gonna focus on baseball.
So all throughout growing up, I really enjoyed baseball like the most. I played basketball, a little bit of soccer when I was really young, but I liked baseball the most just because I felt like it was simple and it came pretty easy to me. And I was fortunate enough to be able to put into those this high level team in comparison to a rec league lower level baseball program. So it was kind of just throughout that I was like, this is fun, and I wanted to. It goes back to how I wanted to actually take it somewhere, rather than just, hey, I like this. It's that, and there wasn't really much else to it.
Definitely.
I mean, growing up, I played baseball, basketball, maybe a little bit of soccer, a little bit of football. But I mean, baseball always kind of spoke to me, I guess. I had some family members that played baseball at the collegiate and some in the minor leagues. But I mean, yeah, I guess baseball was kind of just it for me.
For me, I mean, I played obviously other sports when I was a little, but like probably the only other main sport would be wrestling. I wrestled for probably 4 or 5 years before, but I mean, last time I wrestled would be my freshman season, and I kind of finally just cut that off and really just zoned in on baseball from that point on, 100%.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah, I played
In high school.
in high school.
In high school.
Yeah, so I played like freshman year basketball. Dude, I wasn't any good. And then, I would always just try to grab boards, dude. But no, and I played football my freshman sophomore year. I ended up tearing my meniscus, and it was kind of like it was in the middle of my sophomore football season, so it was kind of like, well, that's done, and now I'm just gonna work to focus on baseball. And after that, I just kind of stuck to baseball and went well from there.
So, I'll make like a general question. So talking about like the sports in high school, I was like a 3-sport, like football, basketball, baseball, right? And I played a little soccer growing up. But in high school, I could have done those because that's what every student does, just to spend time. But then I got whacked with a back injury freshman year, and then I made the decision to kind of just go towards baseball, just because of realistically what can I see myself in the future. But yeah, I look back and like, did I miss out on like the crazy basketball crowds, the football Friday nights? So you guys, all three of you guys know, like, spent many hours, just free time, extra time here. Are there any like regrets about not choosing a different path? Because that's something I thought about lately. It's like, oh my God, I could have so much fun in high school and all that, but at the end of the day, I wouldn't trade none of that for a minute for what I chose to do. So is there any regrets of just sticking just solo straight baseball and not having the young student like average lifestyle?
Yeah, I mean, let's speak first on that. Like, I mean, yeah, obviously being here, you sacrifice a lot of time, away from normal high school activities, whatever this is on the weekends, this and that. But obviously, no regrets at all. I mean, the time in here I've spent is so valuable. Nothing, whatever. I would never trade that for anything. I mean, and the people that are in here and everything, it's just, I would never trade any of it. Yeah, I mean, you miss a lot, but it's just what you do,
Yeah, you're passionate about it.
Exactly.
I mean, at the end of the day, like, we call these like we'll compare like hours in here to like dog years, like we'll spend like 8 hours in here, but you felt like you're like an hour and a half, right?
Yeah.
So it's like that's my feel. I don't know how you guys, if you guys dread being here, but obviously not, because you guys chose to be on this podcast. You guys chose to come in. Mine is Savage early every day, making sure they're ready to go. Mine is Savage. But you guys are usually up pace and get on everything. Mine is Savage. Yeah.
Yeah, like picking up on what he said, like the memories, like the friendships, the relationships like we've created over the last couple of years, even this off season have been like, I wouldn't trade that for the world, even if it meant like going out Friday, Saturday. Like, I mean, the stuff that goes on in here is, I think, more fun.
Yeah, and we talked about it too. I think we touched on it a little bit last podcast. Was like the longer you stay in this game, and like the more people you're gonna meet, the more relationships you're gonna create, and just at the end of the day, like the baseball world is so big but yet so small. It's like everyone knows everybody. So.
Yeah. Well, going back to what you guys said, I honestly feel like I've like made the best decision for my time, because me going to a relatively small school, like there's like those memories that you would expect like a typical high school to have, like are very, very minimal at my school. And I almost feel like I made like the best decision for deciding to commit to this type of lifestyle, because I knew that it was something that I was into and I wanted to take it somewhere. So it almost feels like I don't think I would have done anything else. I feel like this was the best option.
I kind of hear what you're hinting at. Kind of like there's like a fold from where you come from, right? Like, does that make sense? Because where I come from, I went to RB, right? And there's like, okay, you go to college, you come back home, like you kind of do the same thing. And I was a little bit more ambitious. I did not want that. So is that kind of like the same thing with you?
I would say so. I say it's pretty similar, because living in such like a small area with like, it's like you know everyone. It's like you're almost excited to like get out and see what else the world has to offer you. So I am pretty excited to see like what else I can take like beyond it, and like look at the world from outside of like my small town that I've lived in my whole life.
Well, yeah, dude, and same thing. Like we'll travel as an organization, whatnot. Like each of your teams. Like, where'd you go this summer? You were in Georgia. You were
KC,
Kansas City,
Indy a couple times,
Indy,
Kenosha.
Yeah, so like, dude, you'll get around. You'll travel. You get to try new restaurants. Like, play against guys who are from all around the country. So, yeah, just going back to like you said. You think you made the right choice. Like, if that's what you wanted to do and travel and see all that stuff, like, you definitely did.
Yeah, definitely.
And at the end of the day, whether you guys go through college and all that, not anyone could say that they took 15-hour bus rides with 12 plus people and they're playing in premier games. Like, it's tough to explain what you guys actually do to, like, probably people you hang out with that have no idea. And like it kind of like it almost makes sense. It almost sounds like crazy, like actually trying to describe some things that happen, right? Like for example, when you guys go to a tournament and there's 50 plus schools and like you guys are battling against like a 95 mile per hour arm going to LSU, or just like along that side, like a Power 5, that's not just LSU, but all over. It's like you try to tell that story and you almost have to play it down because it doesn't make sense to.
You can't explain it. You can't explain the feelings and like I mean, definitely like traveling all over all summer. Like those are the memories I keep like with me. Like I'm gone all summer, but like people don't understand.
No.
Like, that's the best. Like those are the memories we'll keep forever and stuff. I mean.
There's one story. My junior year, I went down to Jupiter to play in that tournament down there, and I didn't realize at the time when I started one of the games. We were playing, I think it was the Yankee scout team, and the kid who started against us, I didn't know who he was, nothing, but it was Dustin May, the guy who's he's with the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Dude, it's like I started a game against him. And I had no idea, but like it's cool. Like now, it's like a cool story to like say, watch like a big leaguer and be like, "Dang, I threw against his team."
Yeah, you just try to describe. I played on the same field. Everyone's like, "No, you didn't." Like, like people don't understand that.
Yeah.
Who have you played against like that big time?
Big time, dude. No one's big time yet that I played against. No, they're all working their way
played
up.
against each other in college.
We did, and that was the first time I'd seen you in 4 years.
I know,
Yeah,
dude.
Kansas.
Yeah, Kansas came to St. Louis 2 years ago, and that was the first time I seen Waszkiewicz in person for a couple of years. And all of a sudden, I see him that one time, and I just can't stop seeing him because he just keeps showing up. So
He's over there during batting practice, taking his reps at third base, and I'm just sitting there kind of.
I hear someone chirping. Dude, I heard someone chirping from the outside of the fence. He's chirping me. I'm just taking ground balls, and he's like, you stink, you sloppy body, you can't move. What are you doing over there? I'm like, who the hell is talking to me like that? Look over, it's Wash. He comes up, we dap up. I said, what's going on? I totally forgot. And like, obviously I knew, but I'm like, I forgot. Like,
yeah,
you know?
Dude, that's the thing. Like we said though, like, you know, the longer you play this game, the more people you get to meet, like play with, play against, and it's just, it all goes like full circle, dude. It's really cool. So you were talking about, what were you saying earlier?
What? About the time in here? Sport? Multiple sport? What?
I forgot.
Alright, anyways. Let's talk about the off season, huh?
Yeah.
Val, I mean, you could chip in on your own piece. I'm actually curious to hear your piece because you went down for, where were you at, 2 months? Like a month and a half? Was it longer?
A little bit more than
Like
that.
2 months.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
you're right. Actually, wow, that's like 3.5 months.
Yeah.
When you came back, and you're just like, let's talk about your your process and how far along you are from getting back in business.
Yeah, so a little bit backstory, right? So we all know I had like back surgery Friday, October 29th, I think. So that took me out of baseball for a little bit over 3 months, and I started to get back probably about like 2-3 weeks ago.
Yeah, I say probably about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, so it's honestly been a really like roller coaster of an event, and I was actually talking with the crowd about it, about how like he was saying it's the worst thing that could have happened to my baseball career as of now, but it's almost the best thing that's happened to me as an individual, because basically I had like the thing that I desired the most was baseball, and it still is, right? So I had that completely stripped away from me for 3.5 months, and it made me value coming in here a lot, like way more.
Mm-hmm.
It made me like cherish a lot of these memories and like remember a lot of these guys that I'm meeting, and it made me like understand that like we're in here we all have one common goal here, but it goes back to like something bigger than just baseball, and going back to like friendships and memories that you're gonna carry on past high school, past college, and whatnot.
Yeah, it's kind of like what I tell Coffey. You know, we're here. He's here, probably realistically the most out of everyone, and we had to put him on sanctions just to tell him, like, you know, cleanse yourself, separate yourself a little bit. Like, there's a difference of being obsessive. Like that's passion, that's all this, but there's a difference of knowing when to work and knowing when to separate yourself. And honestly, with what happened to you could have went about that 2 ways. You probably just hung them up, but the first chance you chomping on the bit to come back in here, like there's like, let's not forget about that. Like there's 2 separate cases that could have happened there that hurt my back, I'm done, or as soon as I get in, chomp on the bits, and you've been doing your thing. Hopefully you'll be back in a couple weeks and all that. But it's like, you're an obsessive worker for sure. You work a little too much for your own good, right? Yeah. That's what we try to tell you. We don't have to worry about you working. We have to worry about you not getting burnt out and not overworking. So that's a big thing. How many pounds are you up? How many pounds are you guys up?
24 pounds.
24 pounds?
24.
24 pounds. How are you up? 25. Hey, go get a camera. Look at. Come on. There you go. Shout out, Coco. Hey, we got big boys. We got big boys. Off-season gain. That's about what Coco? About 6 pounds a month.
5 pounds.
5 pounds.
Or six.
My bad. We'll say 10 pounds a month. All right, 10 pounds a month. No, that's huge, dude. We have I'm gonna pull up a picture.
Yeah, I wanna find a way to edit that into this video.
Hold on. I'll bring a picture up to the camera. Savage, if you want to take your shirt off and flex, that's fine. But hold on.
Nah, the picture will do justice.
Hold on. Where we at? Give me a second. Yo, guys, check this out. All right. Is it in there?
138 pounds.
Is it in there? Look at that. Come on, dude. String Bean Jones into somewhat of an athlete, dude.
138 pounds in that first one.
138, and you're a senior.
Yeah.
When did you realize like that's probably not good?
Well, I mean,
Probably
it
not,
was,
right?
yeah, I mean, I was up to like.
What could you do on the baseball field at 138 pounds? Run.
Yeah, that's about it.
That's about it. Now you can run, hit a little bit.
Yeah, I mean,
So scared when I hit you ground balls, but it's all good. Not a lot of people can handle 115 off the bat.
nah, but like, I mean, after I broke my ankle, I was up to like 155 when I was out like Val. I gained like 15 pounds, but that was just the fat. So then I lost that all. And
There's a difference
now-
between gaining
yeah,
fat and
yeah, like,
gaining fucking.
way different. Yeah.
Oh, my bad. We got to bleep that one out. That was a slip. All right. What were you saying, Coffey, before I cut you off?
25 pounds, right?
25, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I huge shout out to Coco. I mean, he's in here every Monday, Wednesday, writing down all our workouts. I mean, he's probably spending a ton of time outside of here making all these for us. And he's like during our workouts too. He's always around us, always giving us help, always telling us how to become better. I mean, he's here from like 3 to 9, which is crazy. He's always bringing the energy. I think that's been huge this off season. I mean,
Any questions?
Yeah.
You have anything about
I
why
mean, like,
why we're doing this certain movement? Why we're doing this exercise?
It's always
There's always
helpful.
a why behind it.
It's always helpful knowing what. So instead of like, as a whole, we want to be better with. If we're gonna have you guys do something, we explain it, right?
Yeah.
And I think that is way more than having you guys just go off and, hey, set up tee, set up flips, and you guys just hang around. Instead, wait, for 2 months we just picked up a PVC, right?
Yeah.
We didn't even swing a bat for 2 months, but it wasn't that we didn't want to work with you guys. It's because we had a foundation and a plan to hopefully unfold later on, and I believe it did to an extent. Like at some point, there's gonna be some at bat like in game against pitchers where you guys gotta change on your own, but the basis is you guys are gonna work better and more effectively if you guys are gonna be in there all the time. Might as well work and know what you're working with instead of just mindless working. That's my opinion. And when you have a guy like Coco, who's taking the weight room and he's obsessed about that, he's very smart with all the scientific stuff, the body movement. So he'll tell you one thing. Or someone was banged up one day, and like he just modifies it. Oh yeah, your arm. You're banged up.
Yeah.
Modify it on the go. It's just like having that access, like knowing like, oh, I banged my arm, I can't lift for a day. Instead, on the fly, modify it really quick and stuff like that. And it's the same way.
Still finding a way to get your work in.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's good to know what you guys are working for at the same time of, but at the end of the day, you guys still gotta just put your head down and work to an extent, which y'all did.
Yeah.
So,
And real quick, going back to Val, you had the injury and whatnot, and then you were out for a couple months. But I remember the day you came back into the building, dude, everyone was like so happy to see you. You know what I'm saying? Like everyone was like, "Damn, there's Val!" Like,
Yeah.
So, like you said too, like the relationships that you've created, and like everyone working towards like one common goal. Like those dudes that you spent the whole summer out on the road with, like they didn't get to see you for a couple months. But it's like when you came back in the building, you picked up right where you left off.
Yeah.
So it just kind of speaks to like the culture and like also the individual you are.
Yeah.
You come in here and like have those relationships.
Yeah, like going off your point, I mean, like the family and like brotherhood aspect around here, I think has been huge. Like, when like Thanksgiving, Christmas, one of those big holidays rolls around, you get pro guys coming in here, tons of college guys coming in here, and I mean, they're super friendly. They'll help you, like, they'll give you tips, tricks, whatnot. You hit with them, pitch with them, and I think that's a really cool part of this program is that we get a lot of alumni coming back. I mean, you guys can't see it, but we have a whole alumni wall of just Power 5 colleges, just dudes up there that you still see coming through these days, and I think that's just a really cool part of here.
Yeah, I mean, definitely the culture is out of all the years I've been here. That's my favorite part, just the culture that we built, we created everything. Like, I mean, just the brotherhood. I mean, we're in here every day after school, right after school, whatever it is. We're here, I mean, 5, 6 days, 7 days a week, all the time with each other. I mean, that's something that like no one can ever, you know, take away from any of us. It's just the culture that we built, the brotherhood we built. Like, I mean, for me personally, my closest friends are all, I mean, alumni, whatever, everyone in here, for the most part, like, those are my best friends, one of my closest friends, and I mean, it's just like the trust that we have with one another. No, because no one's been through what we've been through.
Yep.
We've all been through it together. Like they're like getting when we got messed up on the hill, we're running for hours, whatever, after a game, you know, everything. We've all been through it. No one can ever like take that away from us. You know, it's just something we just have a different connection than
100%.
any other kind of relationship with anyone.
Yeah, we talk about culture and all this, and just like what you said about the alumni wall and like all these pro guys and Power 5 guys coming in. To us, it's like, yeah, we will get guys there, but the important part of what we try to do at the end of the day is if they come back and get their work in, how are they going to treat you guys? How are they going to treat a 14-year-old? Does that make sense? Like, that's culture to us. Like, what type of man do they develop into? Like, we want without cussing, very tough people in between the lines, but the genuine and selfless guys outside, right? It's like you guys talk about, you guys seen it. You guys probably never even played with Orzi, right? But he'll come in, and you guys have a question, he'll talk. He'll probably talk longer than you guys ask for, honestly. But it's like that type of person is what we like to be around, and that's what we try to develop. We kind of make you guys hard, like mentally tough, but also it's like he's been through the ropes. This guy's been through the ropes. If we don't put you guys through the ropes, they'll probably disown you guys, right? So it's like when you guys are staring at a 15-pound or 15-plate sled, and you think it's the end of the world, guess what? You're earning your stripes, my guys. Like, you gotta. It's like what are they called? What's that called? Ranking up.
Rank it up.
Like, dude, there's
Like
ranks. There's ranks to this, and like if we don't do, like, even there's some pointless things. Those are probably the most fulfilling ones. Like, oh yeah, you guys mess up, get on the sled. But that's just to show that's like.
I think there's a lot of value in that, actually.
Yeah, there is, but like at the time, it's like hard to explain. Like, you guys are different, obviously, but say for example, guy who hasn't been here for 4+ years, 3+ years, right? Brand new guy, and he sees that, and he's gonna think it's stupid, all that, and it's just
part of our culture.
Exactly, we want more of that coming from like top down, like not just staff, like a guy stepping in. Like, you guys done a great job when people are struggling, not caring for anyone, just like trying to deal with himself. Like during that one week we had 4 workouts a day. Like, you guys are all fed up. Some guy cheated, right? What'd y'all do? Made sure he's accountable for it. It's like at the end of the day, we want you guys to understand there's value in everything that's done. And if there's not, we'll tell you guys. I'll be honest. When we did the what was it, the hula hoop drill, like that?
Yeah.
I had no idea. I thought it would be a good idea. Me and Pete talked about it, so it was good. And at the end, it blew up. I told you, I said, I don't understand that actually. But it was a good try. But you gotta be willing to experiment with new things, right? At the end of the day. So I mean,
Going back to, you said too, for like 2 months, the hitters didn't pick up back. It was just like the PVC, right?
mm-hmm.
So, like, you guys were probably like, well, what is this? But there's
Yeah,
also a purpose behind
Yeah,
everything.
what was your guys' thoughts about that actually? Because if I was coming in here, coming in and with the program and for 2 months I allowed to pick up a bat, I wouldn't know what you guys were thinking about that.
I mean, yeah, it was definitely, a lot of times we're just like, what are we doing? We obviously think it's just pointless, this and that, but it's just, the difference is we all bought in, like Coffey can attest to this. Like, I mean, we just bought in, we trusted you guys, and we knew that, like you said, you told us a plan, you told us the why at the beginning, at the start. You know, you
Mhm.
said you guys have a plan. You're gonna think this is pointless, this and that. But in 5 months from now, you're gonna move better. You're gonna know.
Yeah.
You're gonna feel it. You're gonna feel stuff in your swing that you never felt. This and that, and we all just bought in, and I think that's the difference.
And I could say, like, obviously I'm a pitcher, but we've all gone through like the boring, monotonous, like, things we had to do in order to get better. And for a lot of guys, people do that in like everyday work. Like, say for a catcher, some might think, you know, just because they're working on their drills before a game, that's like the boring, monotonous thing. But at the end of the day, like, that's part of the routine and what helps them get to where they need to be to succeed on the field. So it's good that you guys are, you know, kind of like realize that at the end of the day, that you kind of have to sometimes go through the boring stages to get to where you want to be.
Yeah, I mean, like you were saying, I mean, we kind of had an experience like this on, Tuesday? We were taking batting practice, right, bro? We were going to go live in, 15 minutes, and, you know, stepping in that cage, we could have gone, like, pull side bomb, try to, like, hit the ball as hard as you could,
Mhm.
but, you know, Fitz was telling us, hey, just, like, hard backside ground ball, and,
Yeah.
I mean, I can speak for Savage. I mean, he bought into it, hitting hard backside ground balls, and, you know, he had a good day at live, barreled up 2 balls, you know, got the ball up, and then we were talking after we went live, and I think Fitz was saying, you know, it's not gonna look like the most flashy, like, hey, like, backside ground ball, you know, like, everyone wants to see the pull side homer or the dead center bomb, but I mean,
Cage bombs, yeah.
yeah, just doing like
Yeah.
the little things.
But what does that do us though? What does that do us? Like because at the end of the day, we both know you guys could do that. Like I tell, when you guys aren't here on like say Tuesday in like group 3, it's like my quote of their group is, that's not impressive. Why don't you impress someone and try and hit 3 backside lasers? Because everyone in the country could hit pull side bombs, right? But if you watch and you study the game and see how people go about their business, there's a reason why people are so good at being really good at being boring. Like they get the simple routine, they do their thing, same thing every day, they master that, and there's a reason why that's successful. Like, I understand you get 100 pull side, we get that. But can you hit 95 right in the gap whenever you want to? Can you do the same thing? Like you guys can do that. Like it's not sexy, it's not all that, but it really makes you focus and being attentive to your work. If that makes sense. That's all I'm really trying to get. That's all I've been preaching to you guys this whole month. It's like, dude, there's no more mechanics, there's no more any of this. It's just attention to what you're trying to do. Limit your rounds in the cage because now we're going live. Was trying to get as many live swings as we can. In the cage was handle ourselves, right? Treat a tee like a tee, a flip like a flip, BP like a BP, right? We had no arms going for about 2 months. We experimented. They get our pull side bombs there. We get our backside stop like there. But not at the end of the day, our mission is just go against that guy, right? We'll get our swings in, we'll get all our swings in, but the goal of the day, if there's a live pitcher, that is our focus. What's gonna get us right to get there? And it's nice seeing how you guys buy in and listen. And it's like, I'm not gonna sell you rocks and tell you it's gold, right?
Yeah.
Or dirt. And like at the same time, with JoJo, we talk and stuff like that, and he told me, he goes, you explain and now I'm in. But if you just said this and without the explanation, like at the end of the day, if you guys don't there's always been like open conversation with hitters, right?
Yeah.
We tell you because we don't want you guys to be robots. We tell you feel. We're not expecting you to do it. If you have like any other thoughts, if you guys have a conversation and not want to try it, then we have that conversation. If it doesn't work out, don't do it, right? It's like you guys are more. It's at the end of the day, it's you holding that bat. We can't hit. We can give you suggestions, but we give suggestions based off experience and knowledge of the game and what we've been through. If it doesn't work for you, maybe we try a million things, 990 or whatever, 1,000 million, whatever out of that don't work, but maybe that one thing does, right? It's just breaking that stone 100 times. And after 101, you get where you need to go. So it's like just trying to do things. Like, you guys will not be getting better if you guys just go here, get your 4 rounds off tee, 4 rounds of flip, 4 off BP. Like, there's a reason why we have the machine cranked that close, that hard. It's not just to make you guys feel bad.
I mean, for a month or so, us hitters, we spent, I think it was 4 weeks on just our loads.
Yeah.
Just trying, we had like, I don't know, 5 or so different just loads, how to get in, into our swing. And we tried new ones every day. We just went a whole month just experimenting. And then when we finally found it after a month or so, and some took us longer, some took shorter to find it. Once they find it, that's when we ride with all. That's when we ride for the rest of the off season.
Mm-hmm. I mean, like,
So, all right, you got it.
so like we're talking about the off season a lot, and I know you two are like pretty new to coaching, like fresh out of playing, and I was just wondering, like, what's your biggest takeaway as a new coach this off season? Like, what do you think you've learned from it?
Do you want to answer it first?
Well, yeah. So like for me, like I understand that a lot of kids interpret stuff differently. Like what I might say to you, you might not understand how I explain it. But say like Kral or say Fitz, Pete, Coco, like if they were to explain it, they could understand. So it's just kind of being able to. I'm still kind of learning, in a sense, of how to deliver a message to somebody in different ways. You know, I'm always trying to learn still, like learn. I think that's the thing with baseball, like there's so much new stuff coming out with like, obviously you got the Rapsodo, you got like the hit tracks, you got all these analytical stuff. And I think at the end of the day, me taking time off and like trying to educate myself on that is gonna like help me explain stuff better to say you guys. And like I've been learning stuff about like the hitters side of things too from coaching, stuff that like I didn't really learn in college being a pitcher only, you know.
Just biggest takeaway. So going in, right? You guys, I can't talk about you, Val, because you're a pitcher, but I'll talk just these two. It's you guys been here, you guys been doing your own thing, and I haven't been here for an off season in about 4 years. Come here during winter, but I don't know the program, I don't know where to step in and all of that, and I have like great ideas and all this, but at the end of the day, you just gotta understand like how do people respond. Like I had to change my language a little bit based on different guys, you know? So it's like I could talk to you two normally because you guys respond to that and you guys understand, but say like if I talk to like a 14-year-old who's, you know, kind of shy, kind of like a little timid, and I talk to them like I talk to you guys, they're just gonna be intimidated. And
Yeah, I was gonna ask, like, is your approach like do you think it's harder to communicate with certain guys and get your point across, like depending on like who they are?
well, some guys are very frustrating, but I think I earned like respect to have someone like hear me out, you know.
Yeah.
And like just my biggest thing going in was to explain and just like, you know, just constant like justifying like what I'm doing. So because I'm brand new and like, dude, I hate when someone just steps in and tells me what to do, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't want to be that guy. I wanted to make sure that if I'm gonna tell you guys to do something, here's why. And after some time, I remember like, okay, maybe he's not an idiot. Maybe he knows what he's talking about. And then something clicks with them, like, okay, he's onto something. So now it's one is it's not asking for respect, it's earning, you know.
Yeah.
And if I talk to that like a 15-year-old who or something like that I talk to like my boys, right?
Yeah.
Like I talk to these guys like friends. You know what I'm saying? I'm their coach. Like that's different ways to communicate to them. That's how they respond to me. If I were to talk like that, like cuss at like a 15-year-old that I don't know, he's gonna shut me off.
Yeah.
So that's what I learned. It's like, how do you find someone, like how do you communicate That's the biggest thing. I'm on the same page with you, Wash.
Yeah.
It's like you gotta. The biggest thing that we have is our voice, and on these impressionable minds, every little thing like we said is gonna be magnified. That's why I had to grasp. Like what I say, if I tell a 13-year-old, they're gonna like even Coffey and Sad, they're gonna obsess about that, and I gotta understand that sometimes my words, if I don't say them like without meaning, they're still gonna be magnified. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Just because of impressionable stuff, you know?
Yeah.
So you gotta be careful by your words, you gotta be intentional with your words, you gotta know who to communicate and how. So that's the biggest takeaway, because I didn't know what I was getting myself into at the beginning. All I know is I wanted to do it, and
Yeah.
But you learn along the way.
yeah,
too.
and it was and I had Pete mentoring me and like explaining like I hear you, but at the end of the day, like this is our scale, right?
Yeah.
Like how can we get this like intricate feel in a group of 40 people?
Yeah.
Because like that's like you can't get one-on-one attention. So how can we be effective and efficient on a 30-person scale when there's only 2 or 3 of us?
And I'm sure since the beginning of the off season when you first started to now, you found different ways. I said both of us have found different ways to like relay that message
Mm-hmm.
to guys.
More efficiently too. I think we were in the same boat. Like we were kind of like not deer in the headlights, but kind of just like wondering like our track and like how to maneuver this, because like we never managed or like micromanaged like this many people at one time, and it's it's just like everything you get better at with reps and everything, and like there might be one. I'm just glad that there's only like maybe 1 to 2 days this whole off season where I go home saying that was a waste of a day, instead of just saying I was so bombarded, like thank God that's over. It's like there's only 2 like where I actually felt like defeated. I'm like, dude, I don't know if I can do this. It's only twice out of all these days.
Yeah.
Whether then it's be like, okay, this kind of worked, and this how I'll make it better.
Would you say that's like more of on, like, would you take the blame for that, as in like, oh, I unsuccessfully coached these kids today, or yo, these kids need to understand what I'm coming from and what I'm trying to get across, like what point I'm trying to get across?
No, it's always it's not about the kids understanding like where I'm coming from. It's always on efficiency, right? You guys are here for 1.5, 2 hours. We have throwing and all this, and we have a very fine tune, and we try and maximize you guys' reps. And like we'll go like the 1 or 2 times we're like, dang, we could have done this. If we done this, it would have been so much different. Like you guys, I wasted your guys' time today. Only twice it happened. But ever since then, that's when you need that to get better though.
Yeah.
That makes sense? Because if that didn't happen, it'd just been like this. But that happened, so we go here.
Yeah.
And then you work with different ways, and like me and Pete are very alike and all that, and he's awesome, like obsesses over shit like all night, and I'll come in early, we just talk. Like yesterday we drew up a plan in an hour, and it was fire. Like group 3, boom 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 boom, time, it flowed.
Yeah.
Right? And then group 1 and 2 were like, dude, last day, let's have fun.
Yeah.
Let's have fun, velo day. And dude, I honestly wish you could have thrown, but everybody's up. Everybody's up, and the mood was nothing like that. Was the last day was probably like yesterday. I'm still so happy about it. It was the best. Dude, you're flirting with 90, and you couldn't get above 80, bro. Like, come on, dude. Like, let's like you gotta be excited every now and then, dude.
So, Wash, I actually have a question for you. So, going back a little bit to what Fitz said about with hitters being really good at being like boring in terms of actually on the field during the season, would you say that's like a similar like goal for a pitcher, and saying like for example, like my best pitch I would probably say is my slider. So, but everyone of course wants to see the nasty slider for a strikeout, or this nasty inning, this nasty play. But I was talking with Crowd a little bit a couple of days ago about how, yes, everyone likes to see that, but it's more important when you're able to get outs living in a certain area of like, yo, I'm going I'm doing what works. So example, like sinker in, like consistently getting outs. So would you say it's like, especially with you going to Kansas, how was it for you?
Well, dude, it's just like you got to figure out, you know, like what you're good at. Like, can I execute this, maybe this in this scenario, or that in that scenario? Like for me, I wasn't like the biggest velocity guy, but what I was able to do was live around the strike zone, and I didn't walk many people. So I competed with probably average stuff, but it was just it was just like you kind of learn along the way. It's different in college where, you know, you got to report on different hitters and, you know, you see their weaknesses and whatnot. Obviously, you're throwing against, our guys are throwing against our hitters all the time. So from both sides of view, like I'm sure you pick up on some stuff our pitchers do. We pick up on stuff you guys do. And we just try to execute that. But like with the boring stuff, if you're a starter in college, you know, say you start Friday night, you have a whole another week until your start. So it's very detailed in what you do the day after your start all the way leading up to your next start. So there might be some boring stuff in between, but like at the end of the day, the way I look at it is some guys do consider that boring, but if you're really passionate about like what you do and like how, if you go about your business the right way, that boring stuff isn't really considered boring. It's more of just, hey, that's my routine.
Hey, thanks for bringing that up. Like I say boring like that because, like,
from the outside point of view,
that's
people
what I'm
might
saying.
say that's boring.
Yeah,
You're not getting much out of that. But it's like
boring
no,
to those who don't understand what that means. You know.
Yeah.
Thanks for bringing that up too.
And like especially with you coming off, you know, your injury and whatnot, you know, I'm sure you thought like PT might have been boring or whatnot, but like and the stuff you're doing leading up to like every day before you throw now, you might think, oh, that's boring, but at the same time, you might have the perspective of, I'm so grateful to continue to be able to do this.
And this is what I got to do.
And this is what I got to do
to get healthy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But someone from the outside might say, oh, that looks like boring.
What are you getting out of it?
Yeah.
Like, and then once you dig deeper into it, you're like, oh, this is essential.
Yeah.
Like for the recovery.
Exactly.
And then if, let's just say, like, I didn't want to do that, it goes back to what Fitz said kind of a while ago about how a lot of people did ask me, they were like, are you done playing baseball? Like, are you going to quit? And I was like, I don't want to. Like, I know it's a huge setback, but the timing of the surgery was very, very well, because although I missed an entire off season of like a gain of potential velo strength and whatnot, like it would have been better that it is better that it happened now rather than middle of the summer, and I'm missing an opportunity to showcase myself.
Yeah. Just one. I'm gonna have just a helpful advice for you guys. Like, Sav, you'll be there next year. When you guys do, if you guys want to, like when you get into college, like here's a blueprint to success in college, right? Finding a thing to get you excited to go to the yard, because Wash could talk about the same thing. Like you are going to do the same thing every day, nonstop, every day, and it's like it gets like insane and like tedious, all that. Like, call it boring because you get fed up and you're just in the same cycle. Like, if you guys are able to find one thing to get excited about being at the yard, that's gonna put you a step above, because you'll learn that there are gonna be a group of guys anywhere you go that are just gonna be these guys, complainers, right? If you aren't that person, you're excited and you love going and doing the same thing every day, that is going to lead you to be successful in college.
It's
if
almost
that, if that makes sense. Like, Wash could answer the same thing.
Absolutely.
Dude, like, during the spring, it's same thing.
Especially
same
being
thing.
in the Midwest, dude. Like, you're indoors, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's people are going to say, like, oh, that sucks, like, you don't really get to go outside, but, like, dude, like, you got to find a reason other than because you're on the team, but you got to find a reason, like, hey, this is why I'm going to get better today. I'm gonna show up to the yard and execute this, and cross that off my list for today. At least I got something done,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna try to master that today. That's my plan.
What
That's
was a
almost
few
how
of
it
your
is.
reasons?
Like dude, it was just like going to the yard, like that, like those reasons.
Yeah.
Oh, it was always like, oh, I'm gonna try out something with my hands today, like just something like
Something to get you a little
Just
bit
some-
excited.
just something like to be excited to work on, you know, like okay, I can't wait to hit today. I want to try like a little bit higher leg lift today. My hands are a little bit slow. I want to try something new with my hands. And at the end of the day, like that doesn't work, and you bang it, and you're like, okay, whatever. Then you go back and you just be like, oh. Then you watch some video, like I can't wait to work on this forehand, backhand, like just like little things like that you're gonna do regardless. But putting your mind on intentionally getting better each day, that's gonna give you passion and pride, and it's gonna make your time that's gonna be there easier. Not easier, but like you're gonna do the same thing anyways. Might as well be excited about it, right?
Yeah,
More drive.
I
It's
feel like it's pretty similar to what we do here, actually. 'Cause
Yeah,
if you think about it,
it is,
5, 6, some guys it's like 7 days a week. You know, like for example, before my surgery, all I looked forward to was Tuesday, Saturday, because that's live bullpen day.
yeah.
It's like it's the same exact thing, and it goes once again ties back to the boringness of dry work, med balls, towel work, and such. It's like you gotta find those like little values in it that make it more bearable, so that you're
It's
not
not
one
what
of
you
those
do, it's
guys.
how you do it.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
just not going through the motions. Because if you just go through the motions every day without a purpose, chances are you're probably not going to get better.
yeah, definitely.
Let's get away from baseball for like a quick second. So yeah, it's like baseball this, baseball that. What are you guys like outside of baseball? Like, we tried asking Walsh about his reset, bro. He couldn't find one. He couldn't find one. Like he's so obsessed, and like that works with him. Like we found. I mean, he does have a reset. Like he just turns his brain off and watch conspiracy stuff. Like he's big on that. But like, what do we do? Do we like walking, painting, like just a hobby, like a reset? Because that's essential to maintaining success. Is because once you're glued on the field, you're glued there, and like everything you do on the field is gonna affect your mental health outside the field. Like that's why there's need to be like a little bit of a reset, a little bit of separation, a little bit of staying away. And you brought it for yourself. Like that was probably the biggest game you got this off season, was learning how to stay away and like learning what to do without it.
Yeah, definitely.
It's like, what is our reset? We like to like game or what did Walsh say? Crossbow?
Yeah, dude. He
Like,
liked to cross.
Like okay, but like let's start with you, Savage. Like, what is your reset outside like baseball?
So I mean, definitely.
Weird talent or anything?
Weird talent. Actually, one thing I've been doing, I picked up a book. So
Yeah.
I was reading that David Goggins book. I've been trying.
Oh
to
my
read.
god! Tough. You are a David Goggins guy.
Yeah, now I am. Yeah, I mean, I've been.
Stay tough. Well, no, stay hard. Stay hard. Stay hard.
Hey, I've read it. It's good, dude.
Yeah, but like, I mean, definitely like, I don't know, something I try to do to reset myself like every day is like, at the end of my day, I take like 30 minutes to myself at least before I go to bed, like, and I just try to get my mind off anything, like try to watch any TV show, any I don't know, YouTube video, whatever, just to get my mind. It has nothing to do with anything that happened throughout my day, this and that, but it's just something that just, you know, relaxes, just, you know, gets my mind off anything. It has nothing to do with my day, you know, whether I watch a TV show, you know, YouTube clip, whatever.
And it could be as simple as that.
Yeah,
dude.
nothing. Just something to get my mind off the entire day, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say probably one of my bigger habits is I like to cook and eat. I mean, I think a lot of influence comes from like my parents and like watching them cook and then kind of like picking that up. And I like the side of like nutrition and like trying to like, I guess like treat my body like the best I can.
Yeah.
You also look like you rip Fortnite for 8 hours in a day.
I'm not a big video game guy. I don't really play at all.
I see guys a few times a night.
You get the. You got the.
Set
Hey yo,
with
look,
the
hey,
headset
look at his. You got the headset ear, bro.
Yeah.
You got the headset ear, bro.
I mean, like watching YouTube, movies, something like that.
That's why he's got his headset on.
Yeah.
He's communicating. It's all good. There's no shame in the game, my guy.
What you got, Val?
I ripped some FIFA.
Unlike you, I love playing video games, and I actually, it's mostly the show, but it's still not baseball technically.
No.
So definitely, I usually like, because the days that I am here, like Tuesday, Thursday, I just come right after school, and that's why I'm here like an hour early. So yeah, I get home at like 6:30, 7, probably get something to eat. Yeah, just play some video games. I actually like to play the guitar.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Dang.
it's
Yeah.
I really like
Talented,
yeah, I definitely think like playing the guitar and just playing video games is like a good way to like take my mind off baseball, especially because like us like this being like probably our most important year to get like exposure and whatnot. It's definitely like essential for me to try to get some way for me to take my mind off baseball. And I never really liked it like that because I always wanted to be obsessed with baseball. But now that I'm older, I definitely understand more that like there's a lot of value in just taking some time off and giving some time to yourself to relax.
I think one thing I've been doing too is I don't know about y'all, but I've been trying to figure out my whooping stuff.
Oh, you were obsessed about
yeah,
it.
like I look up videos and stuff like what it means, this and that.
Hey, facts. If you're healthier, it's hard to get strained.
Exactly. That's true.
Hey,
That's
they're-
true, Coff.
They're
It's
coming
bad.
out. They're coming out with a new arm sleeve. I saw
Yeah,
that.
yeah, they are.
New arm sleeve, new shirt.
But like I try to find takeaways and stuff.
Yeah.
You got a bicep band going.
Real quick, Val, your family owns a restaurant.
Yeah,
What's the name of it?
Los Camales.
Wait, where? Los Camales?
Los Camales.
Los Camales?
Yeah.
Alright.
What town is it?
Well, there's a couple different locations, but the main one is in Little Village. It's on 26th Street.
Okay.
Hey, check out Los Camales, Little Village,
26th Street.
26th Street.
Hey, good luck to you guys this baseball season, this high school year as you guys are getting it started. We'll be following you, watching you and whatnot. So,
Yeah, works.
ball out, boys.
Hey, the works place. Now it's gonna have the fun part play.
Yeah. Do your thing.
Alright. And